I own Innov8 Consulting. We are a executive search firm, very strong generalists, so work across multiple industries and across various sectors. I was looking earlier at some of the participants that have joined. There are a lot of people that I recognize the names. So hello, everybody, and thank you. So I'm going to be speaking about recruitment. Recruitment has certainly had an interesting journey. In its simplest form, dates back to ancient Egypt and the Romans, an ancient art, believe it or not, and certainly one which has seen significant evolution through time. The recruitment industry became a very lucrative one over the years, yet it's still seen as quite a simple function by those who use recruitment services or by the people on the outside of the industry. Let me tell you that dealing with people every day, day in, day out, might not be as simple as what some people think. And then to have to put the processes to that. Sometimes I often think, geez, I would love to sell a product because my product doesn't think. You like this product? Yes, thank you. I'll take 10. But my products think, and the people that I work with think. So when we're starting with the recruitment process, yes, the actual doing could be simple, but the navigation through everything and through people and their opinions, not so simple. Nonetheless, when we started in art and recruitment, and over the years, telephones, newspapers, fax machines, emails, the internet, social media, and the ability to build deep relationships with candidates and clients are and were and still are the ingredients to being a successful and sustainable recruiter. Your credibility was your brand, same as it is now. Your credibility is your brand. Over time, technology has started to play a bigger part in the evolution of recruitment over the 20 or 30 years. With the internet and Google and search engines, LinkedIn and so forth, allowing many organizations, you can move the slide now, allowing many organizations now to manage the process internally and have an internal agency, so to speak. This really has left quite a few holes for us in terms of selection. But when we look at where we are at the moment and the digital age that we're in now, it's really eliminated what we use as one of our very key skills, and that is all the face-to-face interaction that we have with organizations and individuals. You know, the automated process has now taken over from this and has removed a lot of that, and keywords are used to do the screening and the selection, and this opens up a lot of space where we will miss out on certain individuals because that keyword did not come up. And a lot of the time we employ people with attitude and aptitude. Yes, they have the skills, but it's a lot to do with culture. It's a lot to do about, do they fit into the organization? How are they going to fit? And often I say to my clients, on paper, this person might not seem to have and tick all the boxes, but just meet them. Just meet this individual, because I know that they will fit into your culture. I know that they will be the right person for this team. And this I could do and easily and comfortably do because of all that face-to-face interaction and really getting to know my clients so well, being in their offices all the time, sitting in their inductions and so forth. So yeah, it does happen now that we do miss, there's a bit hit of miss when it comes to culture because of this screening that's done electronically. But nonetheless, with the pandemic, we have been catapulted even deeper into the digital age, working remotely, online meetings. You did not see anyone other than your own inner circle for a very long time. And with that, recruitment also, for the 18 months, 2 years, took a very, very strong or very deep, it was deeply impacted by everything that was going on the world. Now, as human beings, we are pack creatures. We thrive on being together, on having a sense of belonging, on being part of the tribe or a tribe that gets us, that looks out for us. As people, we need each other. We need to feed off the energy to be able to co-create and innovate, and to have a sense of belonging. The recruitment landscape, as we stand now, has definitely changed. And as we open up again, it is very evident that remote working is here to stay. And that gives us the world as our source for good talent. I, at the moment, have clients that are saying to me, Sam, I don't care where the resource sits. Go back. I don't care where this resource sits. This resource can sit anywhere in the world, as long as they can do the role. But here again, we are missing out on that one-on-one interaction. We are missing out on the connectivity. Yes, working remotely is here to stay. Absolutely it is. And as organizations, because of that, we would need to work that much harder to achieve that sense of belonging, to achieve that sense of connectivity or connectedness throughout our teams, no matter where in the world we are sitting. But we need to find and spend more time looking at, there goes my pen, looking at the culture of these individuals and understanding our culture. Because if we're going to be focused and working remotely, a lot of people love the remote working, some people don't. There's a whole 50-50 debate about this, but you need to find, and it becomes more critical to find the right person, that person that is like-minded around working remotely, has the like-minded work ethic, self-motivated, driven to deliver from wherever their desks are. Work is moving towards now, if your bum's not in the seat, you're not doing your work, to output-based. And that's fantastic, because that's where we need to go, and that's where the world is moving. But now, again, we need to then very closely look at how we are finding these people, where are we finding these people, how are we screening, and make sure that we are connecting and onboarding these individuals properly into our organizations. Candidates are enjoying the freedom of choice and the opportunities that are being opened across this globe. Now, with remote working here to stay, looking at our culture, looking at our brand, this all needs to be very, very clearly defined. And we will need to work harder to be drawing people into our cultures, into our brands. And again, retaining these people is going to be critical. The roles need to be, as I said, clearly defined. I mean, I can go on and on about recruitment and how this landscape is changing. But at the end of the day, the principles remain the same. The people element remains the same. It's at the center, and at the center of it is finding the right fit. We can have great strategy and great culture, but if we have the wrong people that are in our teams and expected to deliver on this for our businesses to succeed and grow, it's not going to work. It doesn't matter. So for me to look back at through the ages and through the recruitment to some of the lessons that I've learned, I love that when I go into a new engagement, I learn something from every engagement that I go into. And great advice that I took from one of my very good clients: we don't know everything. And we miss so much when we think we do and walk into a situation with an I know attitude. So don't be that +1, be a 0. Remain open to learn and to truly hear. Listen to what your candidate and your client is saying to you. And that was a game changer for me. I now walk into every engagement a 0. And I walk in saying to myself, what can I learn from this person? And I must admit, sometimes it really is hard when you do meet someone who believes they're a +5, but stand your ground. Every day is a school day. And to learn from people, and whether they're clients or candidates, you'll be amazed. The lessons we learn come from the oddest places. When somebody says, let me be honest with you. Guys, honesty is always the best policy. As soon as I hear that, let me be honest with you, Samantha, what does that mean? The spidey senses, start tingling at the back. Have you been lying to me up until now? Okay, be honest always. Don't use that line, let me be honest with you now, because as individuals, as I say, honesty is the best policy. And you don't want to give anybody any reason to create some kind of doubt. So, and I always say that, and even to my kids, don't use that line, please. So if you use it, lose it. The other thing that's very important for me, and Justine also mentioned it in her talk about, stand in the shoes of your clients. From my side, there has to be a connect between myself and the client, between myself and the candidate. So I go between client and candidate because both are my clients, whether I am looking for something for an individual or whether I'm looking for an individual for a customer. And as they say, one day a client, one day a candidate, and one day a candidate, one day a client, vice versa. So it's a policy of mine. I cannot recruit and will not recruit for an organization or for line manager if I haven't met with them. I need to be able to sell your organization to an individual who could be the right fit. I need to understand your culture. I need to understand your environment. I need to stand in the client's shoes, so to speak. And if I haven't done that and I haven't met you, how am I on selling your business and your brand? So it's very important for me. And I can honestly say, if I do not connect, I walk away. I cannot then recruit for that environment. And I cannot honestly put somebody into an environment that I am not managing to connect with or in. So that was a very big lesson for me. And I know it's easy to say walk away, but invariably it's not going to work out in the end if there is no connect between myself and the customer. The next one for me, trust your gut. Chasing the placement will go horribly wrong. If I know that this is what the client's looking for and I understand the culture and I meet somebody and I know sometimes, but if look, I think they're probably 90% fit and so forth, I'll trust my gut. If I've got that niggly feeling and my spidey senses, walk away. It's not worth it. 9 times out of 10, that is not going to work in the environment or the culture, and your gut is right. One of my biggest lessons as well, trust your gut. And my last lesson that I have is back yourself. Many a time I've said to my client, just meet this candidate. I know they don't fit your brief exactly. I know you're looking for 100% of this and 80% of that, and this is switched around on this individual. But if you meet them, I know that this person is the right culture fit. I know they're right for the team, and it's paid off. And I often call out my candidates on it, and I'll call out my client on it as well. 9 times out of 10, it's paid off. So don't be afraid to call it when you see it. Back yourself. You know what you're doing is right. You know that you've put everything that you have into it. Can't be wrong. So trust yourself and voice that trust. Yes, there have been some misses that are bound to happen. However, those are overcome with the successes that come from listening to your gut and to sticking to your guns. That sweet spot is the right person in the right seat within the right organization. And this happens when the individual's values align to the culture within that organization. So all in all, in recruitment, times are changing, absolutely. And they need to change. And it's great to change. And I'm welcoming the change. And I think it's great that you are having this, getting this opportunity to work remotely. But please do not refrain from the focus that is required in that face-to-face connectivity, in that personalization that is required, in that connectedness that we as human beings require to be able to deliver what we need to do and to be the best that we can be in that space. So I think for me, understand your clients, understand the business, and remain open to feedback always.